Okay, wanted to cover the feature I just released for the Terraspace plugin Azure RM. Okay, it came from this request from a user here. Very nice feature request, very innocent and nice. Oh, enable self-support delete for Azure backend storage. Makes sense. First of all, I didn't really know much about that, so now I do. So I was like, oh, definitely this makes sense to implement. Yeah, I got to do this. Implementing this, let's say, was a little bit challenging. So I'm gonna walk through some of those challenges a little bit and kind of just show you how this new feature kind of works and everything. And this really should have been a feature baked in originally. Just one of those things again where you're learning these three different cloud providers and you're just like, oh, okay, now I know how that works, and now it's shipped, and now everybody and the rest of the Terraspace users can leverage this feature. Okay. So basically, it's saying that when you delete, let's say, the state file from the storage account from Azure, we don't want that state file to be completely deleted forever. We want it just to be marked deleted. That's what soft deletion is, okay? So to implement that, this is the PR here. And you can see these are the links I read through in order to figure out how to do this. And I kind of wrote them down here for posterity, just in case I ever have to visit these libraries again, because this wasn't my first go around with the Azure SDK here. And the SDK, it comes with some challenges here, trying to figure out how it kind of works here, and also at the same time, learning how the feature itself works. And when it comes down to it, like, the files change was not that much. It's always like this. Yeah, the diff, it's like, oh, that's pretty straightforward. What are you talking about? That's pretty easy to change. Yeah, sure. Read through all these links, and then then you might reevaluate that. And I think it was a little bit difficult because the way the SDK works is it's a compiled down basically library. I believe the other cloud providers SDKs work this way too. AWS as well as Google basically generate their SDKs there, and it's just the way it's generated. It still didn't make for the easiest user-friendly interface from basically Ruby development perspective side. Essentially, you kind of have to create. You can kind of see it here. You have to create delete retention policy, and then kind of pass that as an object to the hash option. It would be nice if these were just hash options that are just passed down, and then the SDK, the generate SDK, will figure that out and basically create these class objects for you, right? And I believe Google's SDK does some of that to a certain extent, and then the AWS SDK does more of that to a certain extent. So would be appreciate that. I get it. Microsoft Azure only has thousands of engineers and and billions of dollars of resources. So yeah, sure. But anyway, I'm actually glad this is all kind of done now, and I'll show you now the documentation for how this kind of works. You click on Docs here, and under here, you click on Plugins and Azure. So that's it. So Docs have also been updated as part of this, and basically now soft delete right here, that has been enabled right here, and also as a part of this, also block public access, discover that. So that's been enabled, and that's been around for, I guess, some time, about a year and a half or so. So I should have had that added a while ago, but now it's added, so you get this all. And versioning has also been enabled, so you have version control essentially of your state file here as you kind of make updates to your infrastructure, and you always have a previous state of it just in case it gets really mucked up. So those are all kind of reasonable defaults, and they're all kind of enabled. In regards to, let's say, existing storage accounts, I accounted for that too. Basically, there's these two options: update existing and configure data protection for existing. So by default, this is actually set to false. Okay, I'm trying to avoid the additional API call, and that kind of may be erroneously erroring. So this is actually off by default. If you have existing storage accounts, then just turn it on true. Deploy with a Terraspace up one time, and then it's gonna all basically go enable all these versioning and data protection features. Okay, then you could disable back off again. That's kind of one approach to kind of doing it. If you are starting brand new with the Terraspace project and working with Azure, then you don't have to worry about this at all, because on initial creation of these resources managed by Terraspace, essentially, or created by Terraspace, really, they on initial creation, the data protection features, block public access, and versioning is already enabled. Okay, so then you don't actually have to ever worry about it. Okie dokie, and that's pretty much it. That covers basically this feature request and basically the implementation of that, and the documentation for that is under Azure Terraspace plugin. Okay, thanks.